you speak any English?
Of course I speak English.
See, how difficult is that? My English, you even cannot see 3 words. Chinese.
Let's take a look at this. First infant surrendered anonymously at Kentucky Baby Box. This is dated February 12, 2023. This is a place where girls or women with newborn babies can give up their babies anonymously. They might not want the baby. They might be unable to take care of the baby for whatever reason. And the idea is that we don't want girls or women with newborn babies to kill them or to leave them somewhere to die. And this is an option for them to give up their baby anonymously. You open this door and put the baby inside, and someone inside will pick up the baby and take care of it. Kentucky Safe Haven Baby Box. And this is all written in English and Spanish. Safe Haven Baby Box drop-off. Please do not open door unless you are in need of services. Silent alarm will activate. Safe Haven Crisis Line 1-866-99 Baby 1. All right, let's look at this. A Kentucky infant last week became the first in the state to be left at a baby box under a new state law permitting the anonymous drop-off of newborns. The infant was placed in a baby box at the Bowling Green Fire Department, said Safe Haven Baby Box's founder and CEO Monica Kelsey on Friday. The Bowling Green box had been in operation for a little under 2 months before the first infant was received. Fire department staff retrieved the child in fewer than 90 seconds, Kelsey said. That should be less than 90 seconds, but we'll talk about that later. This baby is healthy, this baby is beautiful, this baby is perfect, said Kelsey, who added that officials will now be searching for the child's forever home. The boxes, created by Safe Haven Baby Boxes, are intended to give distressed parents a safe place to drop off their newborns while remaining anonymous. The next sentence is a little messed up, so I'm going to split it into 2 sentences. The boxes installed in the exterior walls of hospitals or other public safety buildings lock after a newborn is placed inside. They alert staff through a silent alarm that a baby has been dropped off. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear signed a law in 2021 that permits the use of baby boxes for children fewer than 30 days old. That should be less than 30 days old. The law requires boxes to be placed at police stations, fire departments, or hospitals that are staffed 24/7, 24 hours, 7 days a week. This child that was surrendered here was not abandoned. This child was legally, safely, anonymously, and lovingly placed inside of the Safe Haven Baby Box. And that speaks volumes about the parents, Kelsey said. The child was the 24th in the country to be surrendered at one of the more than 130 baby box locations established across 9 states. This child was left safely and legally in this baby box so that the baby could be pulled from the other side by the firefighter, Kelsey added. The fire department did exactly what they were trained to do, and it worked flawlessly. Let's look at these photo captions. Monica Kelsey said the baby was immediately cared for by firefighters. At least 130 baby boxes have been established across 9 states. A lot of you in Taiwan probably don't know where Kentucky is. There are 50 states in the US, and this is Kentucky. Okay, let's look at some of the words from this article. The first word we have is surrender, and you can see it says 投降, but that's not how it's being used here. Let's look at the definition of surrender. Surrender, verb. 1a, to yield to the power, control, or possession of another upon compulsion or demand. And so here, when it says first infant surrendered anonymously at Kentucky Baby Box, it means that possession of the baby was given to someone else. Okay. All right, let's look at the next word. Anonymously. 匿名的. That's pretty self-explanatory. The next word is newborns. 新生儿. And I typed out newborn baby. 新生婴儿. Let's look at the definition of newborn here. Adjective. 1, recently born. 2, born anew. A newborn individual. And then we have infant, 婴儿, founder, 创始人, CEO. I'm surprised they don't have CEO in Google Translate, but CEO stands for Chief Executive Officer. 受刑执行官, retrieve, 取回. Haven, 避风港. Don't get that confused with heaven. Heaven is spelled H-E-A-V-E-N. This is haven, H-A-V-E-N. Haven, 1, harbor, port. 2, a place of safety, refuge. 3, a place offering favorable opportunities or conditions. A haven for artists. Distressed, 苦恼. Let's look at the definition of distressed. 1, very upset and anxious. He was too distressed and confused to answer their questions. 2, suffering pain in a poor physical condition. When the baby was born, it was blue and distressed. 3, a piece of clothing or furniture made to look older and more worn than it really is. A distressed leather jacket. 4, formal or business, having problems caused by a lack of money. They buy out financially distressed companies. The charity helps kids in distressed situations. Volume, 体积. Flawless, 完美的. Flaw means 缺陷, so flawless means without flaw. 完美的. Abandoned, 弃. Let's look at the definition of abandoned. 1a, left without needed protection, care, or support, an abandoned baby. She began to live in what she referred to as the straitened circumstances of an abandoned woman. 1b, left by the owner, an abandoned car. Left to fall into a state of disuse, an abandoned field, abandoned property, an abandoned factory. 1c, no longer held or thought of, given up. Abandoned hopes/dreams. 2, wholly free from restraint. The lower the beer dropped in the kegs, the more abandoned and frenzied the dancers became. I want to talk about the words fewer and less, and when you should use which one. There are 2 instances in this article where I would use the word less instead of fewer. Here's the first one. I would change this to less. Fire department staff retrieved the child in less than 90 seconds. And here's the second sentence. I would change this word fewer to the word less. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear signed the law in 2021 that permits the use of baby boxes for children less than 30 days old. Let's look at fewer versus less. Fewer versus less is a debate revolving around grammatically using the words fewer and less correctly. The common perspective of today is that fewer should be used with nouns for countable objects and concepts. On the other hand, less should be used only with a grammatically singular noun. This distinction was first expressed by grammarian Robert Baker in 1770 and has been supported as a general rule since then by other notable grammarians. However, a more recent perspective based on current usage notes that while the rule for fewer stands, the word less is used more fluidly. Fewer and less. We all want fewer problems and less trouble with fewer and less. What to know? Generally, fewer is used when the number of things is counted, whereas less is used when the number is measured. However, this is not a strict rule, and there are accepted instances of less being used with countable amounts, such as 250 words or less, 3 items or less, and especially with money, less than $20, and distance, less than 3 miles. There's a commonly repeated rule about fewer and less. It goes like this. Fewer is used to refer to number among things that are counted, as in fewer choices and fewer problems. Less is used to refer to quantity or amount among things that are measured, as in less time and less effort. This rule is simple enough and looks easy to follow, but it's not accurate for all usage. The fact is that less is also sometimes used to refer to number among things that are counted. Exceptions to the rule. Despite the rule, less used of things that are countable is standard in many contexts, and in fact is more likely than fewer in a few common constructions, especially ones involving distances, as in less than 3 miles, sums of money, as in less than $20, units of time and weight, as in less than 5 years, and less than 10 ounces, and statistical enumerations, as in less than 50,000 people, all things which are often thought of as amounts rather than numbers. The one that's relevant here is units of time. See, it says, as in less than 5 years. For example, if someone asked you how long you've been in the United States, most people would say, I've been here less than 5 years, instead of I've been here fewer than 5 years. So that's why I said that this should be less than 90 seconds, and this should be less than 30 days old. I want to look at the sentence that I mentioned earlier that I think is not well written. I split it up into 2 sentences, and for the second sentence, I actually changed this word, notify, to alert, and I'll explain why. Let's look at the word notify. Notify verb. 1, to give formal notice to. She notified the police about the accident. 2, to give notice of or report the occurrence of. He notified his intention to sue. She notified my arrival to the governor. Now let's look at alert. Alert, verb. 1, to call to a state of readiness. Warn. Alerted the school board of a possible teacher's strike. Alert the authorities. 2, to make aware of something. Alerted the public to the dangers of pesticides. This sentence, if we ignore this part, says the boxes lock after a newborn is placed inside and notify staff through a silent alarm that a baby has been dropped off. So the subject for this verb notify here is the boxes. And I just think alert is a better verb to use in this case, meaning to make someone aware of something. So I changed it to the boxes installed into exterior walls of hospitals or other public safety buildings lock after a newborn is placed inside. And they alert staff through a silent alarm that a baby has been dropped off. Let's look at this sentence. And that speaks volumes about the parents, Kelsey said. The word that here is referring to the prior sentence where she said this child was legally, safely, anonymously, and lovingly placed inside of the safe haven baby box. And that speaks volumes about the parents. Let's look at this phrase, speaks volumes. Now, the definition of volume is TG, but the phrase here is speaks volumes. And here it says, 很有说服力, but that's definitely not a good definition. 有说服力的 would be persuasive. Speaks volumes does not mean persuasive. This translation is wrong right here. It has nothing to do with explaining their situation. It means that the act of putting the baby in the baby box makes it clear that the mother, or whoever put the baby in there, cares about the baby. Let's look at the explanation for speaks volumes. Speaks volumes idiom, to provide a lot of information about something, to show something very clearly. The company's decision to ignore the problem speaks volumes about its lack of leadership. This is a good example, but I don't think the definition here is as good as another one I found. Speaks volumes. If something speaks volumes, it makes an opinion, characteristic, or situation very clear without the use of words. She said very little, but her face spoke volumes. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a better idea of what that means. Okay, so what does this sentence mean? She said very little, but her face spoke volumes. It means that from the expression on her face, one would be able to tell exactly how she was feeling. So when she says that that speaks volumes about the parents, she's saying that that says a lot about the parents, and in this case, something good. She's saying that the fact that the mother didn't abandon the baby, that she found a place to put the baby where she knew someone would take care of it, shows that she cares about the baby. And when she says parents here, she's making an assumption that the father was involved in this decision, but we don't know that. So technically, it would probably be more accurate to say, and that speaks volumes about the mother. This is actually a misquote. After I read this article, I found a TV news report that showed her speaking, and she actually didn't say parents. She said parent, singular. I found this news report from a year ago, and this was before any baby boxes had been installed in Kentucky, so it's pretty interesting.
The woman behind the safe haven baby boxes scattered around Indiana now wants the same options in Kentucky. The boxes allow a new mother to surrender their baby without fear or persecution of judgment. Brooke spoke to the woman behind these life-saving boxes about why they mean so much to her.
Well, the safe haven law has been around for the last 20 years where a woman can walk into any fire station, police station, or hospital and surrender their child, no questions asked. And that works about 50 to 70% of the time.
Monica Kelsey says that number could be much higher if safe havens were completely anonymous. It differs by state. It's why she designed the Safe Haven Baby Box about 5 years ago. A safe surrender without fear of persecution.
I think that is part of why we've had 0 dead babies in our state and a record number of babies in our boxes, is because women know that this option's available to them.
Today, close to 60 baby boxes are installed at fire stations and hospitals across Arkansas, Ohio, Florida, and Indiana. And there's a House bill in Kentucky that could make it happen here, too. It passed unanimously in the House and is now making its way through the Senate.
I can't wait to see Kentucky adopt this and see how many babies we can save in the state of Kentucky. Because right now, babies are being placed in dumpsters that have no alarms. They have no heating elements.
She said babies are being placed in dumpsters that have no alarms, that have no heating elements.
And that's what women are choosing. And so we have to give them another option, another safe, legal option.
Kelsey says fire departments from 3 Kentucky cities have already requested one. Even more donors are stepping up to foot the $10,000 bill.
The people in the community are the real heroes here that are stepping up and saying, no baby's going to die in my community if I have anything to do with it.
A cause that hits close to home for Kelsey, who was conceived out of rape. Her birth mother abandoned her just 2 hours after giving birth.
That's interesting. She said that she was conceived out of rape. That means her mother was raped. She got pregnant and then had Kelsey. And then her mother abandoned her just 2 hours after she had her.
Kelsey says today, mothers now have a safe place to fall.
We're not here to shame you. We're not here to judge you. We're here to walk alongside you.
We're not here to shame you. We're not here to judge you. We're here to walk alongside you.
To make sure that you keep your child safe and that your child's life goes on.
To make sure that you keep your child safe. To make sure that your child's life goes on.
Along with your own.
Along with your own.
WHAS 11 News.
This is the news report about the baby being taken in by the fire department.
Thank you guys so much for coming and sharing this news with us. As you are aware, because you're here, this box has been in operation for a little under 2 months. And 2 months ago, we blessed this box. And within the last 7 days, this box got a blessing. And this baby is healthy. This baby is beautiful. This baby is perfect, and the Department of Child Services is now looking for a forever home for this family. I get asked all the time, why are you holding a press conference if this is supposed to be anonymous? And I want to address that right now. I get asked all the time, why are you holding a press conference if this is supposed to be anonymous? And I want to
She says she gets asked all the time, why are you holding a press conference if this is supposed to be anonymous?
address that right now. There are 3 reasons why we do this.
She says there are 3 reasons why we do this.
The first thing that we do a press conference for is to talk directly to the mother, and that's what I'm going to do right now.
The first reason she's holding a press conference is so that she can talk directly to the mother.
We don't know who came here and surrendered this child, and that is the beauty of the baby box. The box allows 100% anonymity, and that is exactly what that parent received here. If this mother is out there or father is out there and they are watching, I want to say thank you. Thank you for keeping your child safe. Thank you for bringing your child to a location where you knew this child was going to be taken care of. And thank you for doing what you felt you could for the life of this child. Most of you know that I was abandoned as an infant. This child that was surrendered here was not abandoned. This child was legally, safely, anonymously, and lovingly placed inside of this safe haven baby box. And that speaks volumes about the parent. I want to just mention that Isabella is here. Isabella, when we first started to push for baby boxes in the state of Kentucky, Isabella contacted us and said, I want to help. How can I help? And she says, I was abandoned as an infant. What can I do? She started a petition in the state of Kentucky to allow this box to be here. So this box is here because of Isabella, who was abandoned as an infant, who wanted to do something for others. And so now, Isabella, your hard work has paid off. We have multiple fire stations that have baby boxes in the state of Kentucky, and the first baby now has been has been legally surrendered with 100% anonymity. So thank you. And I'm sure this parent is thanking you as well.
Well, God bless that woman, Monica Kelsey, and Isabella, and that fire department, and that baby, and that baby's mother. It's a great story.